The hook, the disappearance. The galaxy had watched Earth rise from the ashes of countless wars. Once, humans were considered weak, fragile creatures of a small blue planet. But centuries of survival on a dangerous world had forged them into something different, something terrifying. When Earth built its war fleet, the galaxy trembled. Colossal ships, forged from alloys unknown to other species, moved like storms across the stars. No empire dared provoke humanity once the fleet was unleashed. But then, suddenly, the war fleet vanished. No warning, no battle, no distress signals. One moment, humanity's most powerful force filled the star charts, and the next, it was gone. Entire systems that once felt secure now buzzed with panic. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some alien diplomats claimed the humans had finally destroyed themselves. Others whispered that the fleet had crossed into another dimension, preparing for something the galaxy could not yet imagine. Among the alien races, fear turned into confusion. A council of empires gathered in a vast chamber orbiting the twin suns of Orion's reach. Representatives argued fiercely, their voices echoing across the chamber. Without humanity's fleet, who would keep balance in the galaxy? A tall alien commander covered in scaled armor slammed his clawed hand onto the table. "This is our chance. With Earth unguarded, their power will collapse. We must act before they return." His words were met with silence, because deep inside, every race remembered what humans were capable of when cornered. Meanwhile, on a quiet moon near the edge of the galaxy, a small human outpost still operated. The soldiers stationed there had no answer for the sudden disappearance of their fleet. They scanned the void endlessly, searching for any trace, any signal, but space remained silent. Captain Mark, a man hardened by decades of war, stood on the Shul, a command deck staring into the endless dark. His crew shifted nervously, waiting for his orders. Mark's voice was calm but heavy with unspoken dread. "They didn't vanish. They're somewhere, and if we can't find them, the galaxy will." Across the stars, alien fleets began to test the silence. Small probes slipped into human-controlled sectors. Explorers dared to step onto colonies that once trembled under Earth's shadow. Reports came in of strange disappearances, alien vessels entering human space, never returning. Some thought this was proof the humans were still watching. Others feared something far worse had taken the war fleet. On the trade routes, whispers began. Miners spoke of ghost ships drifting through the void, massive war machines without crews, their engines glowing faintly. Merchants swore they saw human destroyers fade into existence for a heartbeat and then vanish again, like shadows moving through time. Were these hallucinations, or had the war fleet become something more than physical? Fear grew into obsession. The Alien Council demanded answers, but none came. Every race remembered humanity's warning. If Earth's fleet ever disappears, it is not because we are gone. It is because we are preparing. And now, the galaxy wondered. Preparing for what? Rising fear. The Council divides. 770 words. The galaxy could not ignore Earth's silence for long. The council chamber on Orion's reach grew restless as reports poured in. Entire sectors once guarded by human patrols now stood empty. Colonies that once shined with trade and energy now looked vulnerable. Without the war fleet, Earth seemed weaker, almost exposed. But no one wanted to believe that. An elder delegate with silver eyes leaned forward. "Do you not see the danger? Humans are never silent without reason. They do not hide unless they are preparing to strike." His voice trembled, not from agony, but from memory. He had survived a human siege long ago, and the thought of facing them again made his scaled skin tighten. Others were less cautious. A thin, insect-like ambassador hissed with excitement. "This is our chance. Humanity has ruled by fear for too long. If they are gone, we will take their colonies, seize their weapons, and end their dominance forever." Arguments broke into shouting. Some demanded action, others urged patience. The chamber shook with the sound of 100 voices, each filled with desperation. But beneath all the noise, one truth lingered. No one knew where Earth's war fleet had gone. Meanwhile, far from the Council, small alien strike groups began to test Earth's defenses. A raider fleet entered the Vega system, expecting to find it empty. They laughed as they approached the human colony's silent skies. But laughter turned into horror when their ships began vanishing one by one. No explosions, no wreckage, just silence, as though something unseen plucked them from existence. The survivors fled in terror, spreading wild tales of ghostly human weapons that could not be seen or fought. Word spread fast. Some aliens believed the humans had unlocked cloaking far beyond anything known. Others whispered that the war fleet had fused with the void itself, turning into phantoms of war. Fear crept back into the hearts of those who once dreamed of seizing human worlds. On the human outpost, Captain Mark studied the incoming reports. His crew looked at him with wide eyes, waiting for answers. "It's a trap," one officer muttered. "The fleet is gone because they want the galaxy to think they're gone." Mark said nothing, but deep inside, he agreed. Humanity never gave up power so easily. If the fleet had vanished, it was by choice. But why? What were they waiting for? In the shadows of space, something stirred. Entire alien caravans vanished without warning. Merchant routes were disrupted, military scouts disappeared, and whispers of human ghosts grew louder. Soon, Eve and the bravest races began to pull back, too afraid to push deeper into human territory. Still, the Council argued. Should they strike now or wait? Should they risk awakening the humans, or should they pretend to be allies until the truth was known? And as the galaxy hesitated, somewhere out there, the vanished war fleet remained silent, hidden in the darkness, unseen, but very much alive. The question was no longer where humanity's fleet had gone. The question was what they were waiting for. Whispers in the dark. The ghost fleet. Weeks passed. The galaxy had grown uneasy. The Alien Council's debates no longer sounded like confidence. They sounded like fear. Merchants stopped traveling near human sectors. Armies pulled back from borders that had once looked tempting. The unknown was far more terrifying than war itself. But then came the whispers. A mining crew in the Helios belt reported seeing massive shadows drifting in the void. They swore the ships were human, war cruisers bigger than cities, engines glowing faintly like dying suns. Yet when the miners tried to approach, the shadows vanished, leaving only empty stars. A scout fleet belonging to the Talari Empire reported a similar sight. They had detected human dreadnoughts on long-range scans, lined up in formation, ready for battle. The scouts panicked, sending a desperate warning back to their homeworld. But when reinforcements arrived, there was nothing, only silence, only space. The Council tried to dismiss these reports as illusions, stress, or lies. But deep inside, every race remembered humanity's warning: we do not always need to be seen to be present. Back on the human outpost, Captain Mark had begun piecing together the fragments. Reports of ghost fleets, colonies untouched yet never invaded, raiders vanishing without a trace. It all painted a pattern. His crew gathered around him in tense silence, as he marked positions on the star map. "They're out there," Mark whispered. "Not gone, not destroyed, watching." Waiting. One officer leaned forward nervously. But waiting for what, Captain? Mark didn't answer, because even he didn't know. Meanwhile, alien fear grew into madness. Smaller empires demanded the Council launch an all-out strike against Earth before it was too late. Larger empires hesitated, fearing they would be walking into a trap. Old enemies turned on each other, blaming one another for not acting fast enough. The galaxy was beginning to tear itself apart, not by human weapons, but by human silence. And then, the first message arrived. A drifting alien probe, captured near the edge of Sol system, broadcasted a single transmission before shutting down. The message was short, but it froze every empire to their core. It was human. It was calm. It said only this: "Do not look for us. When the time comes, you will know where we are." The probe melted into dust moments later, as if it had never existed. The council chamber fell into chaos when the message was played. Some called it a warning. Others claimed it was a threat. But to all, it was a reminder. Humanity had not vanished. Humanity had chosen to disappear. And in that choice, the galaxy realized something terrifying. Humans were no longer just warriors. They had become shadows. And shadows could strike from anywhere. The silent preparation, the trap tightens. The galaxy had never known such silence. No battles, no declarations, only rumors of human ships appearing and vanishing like ghosts. For the first time in centuries, the alien empires were afraid to move forward, yet the fear of waiting was worse. In the council chamber, pressure grew unbearable. A proud warlord slammed his fist onto the table. "We cannot let them haunt us with silence. If they are gone, then we must take Earth itself. Once their homeworld falls, the humans will be finished." Gasps filled the chamber. No one had dared speak of attacking Earth directly before. It was suicide. The humans had once said, "Harm Earth, and the stars will burn." But with the war fleet missing, the temptation was too strong. A secret alliance of empires began to form. Their plan was simple: send a massive strike force to Sol, crush Earth's defenses, and reveal the truth of whether the war fleet still existed. Quietly, fleets began to gather, preparing for the boldest invasion in galactic history. On the human outpost, Captain Mark and his crew intercepted strange transmissions. He listened with narrowed eyes as alien voices whispered about Sol. The officer beside him looked pale. "They're coming for Earth, Captain." Mark finally spoke the words he had been holding back for weeks. "Good. That means the waiting is almost over." His crew exchanged uneasy glances. What did he mean? Was he saying Earth wanted this to happen? Meanwhile, across alien fleets, unease spread. Soldiers sharpened weapons, but many felt something was wrong. Every race had studied humanity's history. They knew humans loved traps, loved turning weakness into strength. Some commanders hesitated, asking if this was all too easy, but their leaders silenced them. "This is our moment. Strike now, or live forever under their shadow." And so, the fleets moved. Hundreds of warships slipped through the void, engines burning bright as they approached the Sol system. Their commanders dreamed of glory. Their soldiers prayed for survival. But what they did not know was that Earth was waiting. Not desperate, not unprepared. Waiting. For in the blackness beyond known space, the vanished war fleet stirred. Hidden in the folds of space-time itself, cloaked by technology the galaxy had never imagined, the fleet had not vanished. It had ascended. Their warships had been rebuilt in secret, engines powered by cores stolen from the heart of dying stars. Their weapons had been sharpened, their armor thickened, their presence erased from every known scan. Now, as alien fleets approached Earth with fire in their hearts, The humans prepared to reveal the truth. The war fleet had never been gone. It had only been waiting for the enemy to come close enough. The return, the shock of the galaxy. The alien armada entered the Sol system with fire blazing in their engines. Hundreds of ships spread across the void, forming a net around Earth. Their commanders barked orders, weapons charged, banners of conquest flashing across the stars. For the first time in history, alien fleets stood above humanity's cradle, daring to challenge it. But Earth was silent. No response came from the blue planet. No ships rose to defend it. Cities glowed faintly beneath clouds, calm and unbothered, as though they had no fear of invasion. The alien commanders laughed. The humans are broken. Their power was a lie all along. And then, the stars split open. One by one, colossal shadows emerged from the darkness, ships so massive they dwarfed the alien armada. The war fleet had returned. But it was not the same fleet that had once kept the galaxy at bay. These ships were different. Their hulls shimmered like black glass, their weapons pulsed with energy stolen from the heart of dying suns, their movements silent and terrifying. The aliens froze. Their sensors screamed warnings. Ships that had been invisible seconds ago now surrounded them, cutting off every escape route. The humans had not vanished. They had hidden in plain sight, cloaked in ways no one believed possible. And now, they had allowed the enemy to walk willingly into their jaws. A single transmission cut through the void, carried on every frequency. It was calm, steady, human. You wanted to see if Earth was weak. Now you will see the truth. Then the void lit up. Human ships moved with impossible precision, firing beams that sliced through alien cruisers as if they were paper. Whole fleets vanished in seconds, caught in storms of plasma and kinetic firepower. Alien commanders screamed, made for retreat, but there was nowhere to go. The war fleet had encircled them completely. From Earth's surface, civilians watched the sky blaze with streaks of light. They knew their fleet had returned. They knew humanity had never been in danger. This was not defense. This was a lesson. Within minutes, the proud alien armada was reduced to wreckage. Survivors were few. Their broken ships drifted helplessly in the void, while human vessels loomed above them like silent judges. Not one human voice shouted in anger. Not one human ship claimed glory. They did not need to. The message was clear. Earth had never lost its power. It had only hidden it, waiting for the moment the galaxy's arrogance would bring its enemies too close. In the council chamber far away, silence crushed the delegates as news arrived. Holograms of burning fleets filled the chamber, and no one dared to speak. Every empire understood now. The war fleet had not disappeared. It had transformed. And humanity's warning still echoed in their minds. Harm Earth, and the stars will burn. The galaxy was left in shock, trembling under the shadow of humanity's return. The war fleet had vanished only to remind them of the truth. Humans did not need to be seen to be feared.